don't know where I stand now. Like, I've been told by the previous caseworker that it's up to his discretion whether I can ever see the child again. And then that social worker did not even inform me when she was switched out with another social worker or returned any of my calls, which that happened recently. And now the new social worker I've not heard back from. So am I just basically X'd out of this whole case?
All right, let's take another call right now. Let's talk to Sandy from Santa Monica.
Hello there.
Hi. Did you have a story,
Hi.
to tell or question to ask?
I am right here. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Good. So I heard what you said about the judge and possibly being able to request one. Now, I'm a grandmother, and I just filed a 388 petition, and I was denied. And I was going for de facto for my grandson. In the meantime, he's been placed with his father, and his father is not corresponding with me regarding our visitation. We have a court-ordered unsupervised visitation that's been going on since he was taken back in May. So I don't know where I stand now. Like, I've been told by the previous caseworker that it's up to his discretion whether I can ever see the child again. And then that social worker did not even inform me when she was switched out with another social worker or returned any of my calls, which that happened recently. And now the new social worker I've not heard back from. So am I just basically X'd out of this whole case because the child went to his father?
No.
Or do I have grandparents' rights? Can I still continue visiting him?
Well, grandparents' rights is a very gray area in California, as it is in most states.
I see.
But we won't talk about that. You told me that you have a court order for visitation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a court order for visitation from the juvenile court, what you can do is you can file a motion to enforce that court order.
Okay.
All right. Now, Sandy, I don't know if you have any legal experience or legal training, but, I can say that easy. File a motion, to enforce your court order. But that's kind of complicated, and, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, that might be a 5 or 6.
Okay.
So you should definitely call and try to find someone, a lawyer, that can help you do that. Okay,
I'll look a little further into that. But in the meantime, do you know what form I would file? Would I be doing a 180 to change a court order along with another form to enforce a court order, or how would that go? How would I? Which form do you know?
Yeah, in my opinion, you could use a JV 180, but it's not really what you want to use. You want to use an OSC, a motion for contempt against the father and or the social worker, although you didn't tell me that the social worker was not helping you follow the court order. But, there's not a form for that in juvenile dependency.
I see.
So, they have forms in juvenile dependency for many things, but not everything.
Not that, okay.
Yeah, so you would want to talk to a lawyer about filing, maybe he has a template or she has a template for an OSC rate contempt.
I see. That's a tricky one. Okay.
Right.
Because I do have some confidence about filing stuff myself,
Right. There is an OSC.
The other question is, I have this one.
Sandy,
go ahead.
Sandy, there is an OSC rate contempt that they use in family law cases, and I have personally, several years ago, used that in the juvenile dependency arena. So but a lot of, hearing officers and judges or attorneys get kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but they have concerns when you use a family law form in the juvenile court, almost as
Right.
if, it's automatically disqualified. And I don't think that's the case, in my opinion. But you can get a template from the family law OSC rate contempt. But
I see. Okay.
what was your other question?
Well, I was wondering because I keep getting, I have the same judge that's denying me on these motions for de facto, because I've filed 2 of them now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she feels it's premature or whatever. It's not that I'm, if they trust that that my grandson is okay with his dad, that's great. I just know that he has a more recent criminal record, and he's, had some major challenges with drugs and stuff. So I just want to be back up. I want to do anything I can to line myself up in case there's an issue. But I also want to keep these visits going because we have unsupervised visits for 3 hours every week. We have been since last year, around May. And it's important to my grandson for the consistency. He really enjoys coming and seeing me. Like, he runs to me every time. A lot of times he protests when it's time to leave. It's like he needs that assurance that I'm the only connection to his mother he has right now.
Right.
I don't know what else to say about it. She's not ready to step forward and do the whole. She fell out of the dependency court. She just couldn't handle it.
I wanted to mention to you, when a judge denies for example, your 388 petition, you can file a notice of appeal on that and take it to
I'd like to do that.
Take it to a higher court. And I believe there are no filing fees at least in Los Angeles County. So,
Oh, how lovely.
Google
I was
this
wondering
form.
about that. Could I file a notice of appeal? Because it seems like that's kind of where I need to go ultimately with all of this and have it looked at.
You can do that.
I think that's where I want to go with this.
Okay.
So,
Sandy?
So if I just go and to the regular court clerk and request to file a notice of appeal on my denial?
Yeah. Do you have Google?
I'll be okay.
You have access to Google?
Yes, I do.
Just Google Notice of Appeal Juvenile Dependency. The form will come up, and you can fill it out on a PDF right there on your own computer and print it out and file it.
Love it. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to try and get some kind of leverage here,
I would suggest that you have an attorney review that before you file it. Can be a little tricky, and if you do it wrong, it's gonna be bounced out of court. Okay?
Yeah. I probably should do that.
Thank you for calling.